What's interesting about that is the question oftentimes, and again, it's not done with ill intent, but oftentimes the questions asked of young adults are, will you serve in this ministry and volunteer? Because obviously you have time because you're a young adult. The question isn't, what do you want to take responsibility for? What do you sense God is calling you to? And how do we help encourage you in that realm?
Or what are your talents?
Yes.
What can you contribute to the community, and what would you enjoy doing?
Exactly. And so a lot of times in young adult ministry, what happens is we're like, oh my gosh, young adults are here. We've got to set up small groups for them, and we got to have this retreat, and we've got to set this up. What can happen is if we're not careful, is we take away the agency of young adults, and we ask them to attend rather than participate. And there's a difference. Attendance is passive. I've set this up for you. Won't you come to my small group? And then it reinforces to young adults coming to us as leaders saying, I don't have a small group. Where do I fit in? Rather than having a formation forward mentality where we say to young adults, so you want to be in a small group? Tell me about your friends. What would it look like for you to gather them together? I can help you perhaps resource content for what you want to talk about. But it's your job to make your friends and own those responsibilities as you step into your faith formation or the communities that you want to be a part of, right? And so the posture pastorally, I think, is different, where we don't do things for young adults, but we're inspiring their responsibilities so they take agency for their lives and for their spiritual formation.
And I think a lot of the times they do want to start taking responsibility for things.
Yeah.
And what they really need is someone to resource them or someone to support what they're doing.
Right.
And they'll just want someone to come along and say, how can I help you with
Absolutely.
that? Another thing that came to my mind when you were talking about how we might create programs and just expect them to show up.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we feel like, oh, they're so busy, or they don't prioritize church.
Yeah.
Well, they're taking a lot of responsibility. Some of these young people have 1 or 2 side hustles apart from their job. That's a lot of responsibility that's taking their time because they need to survive. They need to pay for school. They need to buy their groceries, pay their bills.
Absolutely.
And those are very practical realities that sometimes as leaders, we forget because we're thinking of, we need to get you to the pew to sit down.
Absolutely.